Good morning from Prudent Prosperity, Wednesday, September the 10th. Here are 5 things you need to know today. Number 1, stock futures were mixed after major stock indexes hit new highs on Tuesday. Investors today are watching inflation data as stocks have risen in anticipation of an interest rate cut by the Fed next week. Futures tied to the S&P 500 and the tech-heavy Nasdaq were slightly higher this morning, while Dow Jones Industrial Average futures fell slightly. Bitcoin was trading at around $112,400 recently, up from its overnight lows. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note, which affects borrowing costs on all sorts of loans, ticked higher to 4.09%, but remains near its lowest level since April. Gold futures were slightly higher, trading near a record high, while oil futures added about 1%. Number 2. Shares of Oracle surged more than 30% in pre-market trading after the cloud computing giant said it added several large new clients and boosted its outlook for cloud infrastructure sales on booming AI demand. Oracle said it sees cloud infrastructure sales jumping 77% to $18 billion this fiscal year as AI demand grows, up from a June forecast of more than 70%. Oracle posted adjusted earnings per share of $1.47 in the fiscal first quarter on revenue that rose 12% year-over-year to $14.9 billion, both below analysts' estimates as compiled by Visible Alpha. Oracle said its growing backlog from new contracts contributed to its more robust outlook. Number 3. A federal judge has blocked President Donald Trump's efforts to remove Fed Governor Lisa Cook. The injunction means Cook can stay in her role as her lawsuit challenging the dismissal moves forward. Trump, who has lambasted the Fed for not cutting interest rates, is attempting to remove the Fed governor on allegations of mortgage fraud that occurred before her appointment to the Fed's board. The judge ruled that the Federal Reserve Act limited the president's authority to fire board members for actions that occurred before their terms, according to media reports. Cook has denied wrongdoing. The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to eventually rule on Cook's lawsuit challenging the dismissal. Number 4. Wegovy maker Novo Nordisk said it plans to lay off 9,000 employees, making up more than 11% of its workforce, as the Danish drug maker faces a slowdown in growth in the weight loss treatment market. Novo Nordisk said the layoffs will create a one-time cost of 8 billion Danish kroner, $1.26 billion. As a result, the company said it now expects full-year operating profit growth of between 4% and 10%, down from the 10% to 16% profit growth it projected in August. The move comes after Novo Nordisk brought in a new CEO in August. U.S.-traded shares of Novo Nordisk were up about 1% in recent pre-market trading. Number 5. U.S. producer prices fell unexpectedly last month, dropping 0.1% from July. The Labor Department reported Wednesday that its producer price index, which captures inflation in the supply chain before it hits consumers, showed that wholesale inflation decelerated in August after advancing 0.7% in July. Wholesale services prices fell 0.2% from July on smaller profit margins at retailers and wholesalers, which might be a sign that those companies are absorbing the cost of President Donald Trump's sweeping taxes, tariffs, on imports. Compared to a year earlier, producer prices rose 2.6%. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, so-called core producer prices also fell 0.1% from July and were up 2.8% from a year earlier. And that's it for today.
If any of today's insights sparked a question or made you think about your own financial journey, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let's take your next step together, strategically and confidently. And always remember, stay prudent, stay prosperous, make it a great day.